Hello children, as you know we were doing the Vedic period and some topics already completed. Now in today's class we will be doing the epics. As you know we have the two epics, the Ramayana and Mahabharata. They were the important epics written during the time of later Vedic period. So Ramayana was originally composed in Sanskrit, and the Sanskrit version is said to be the work of Maharshi Vyas. Okay, Sanskrit version is to be it's written by Maharshi Vyas. Right. The next which you have to remember, it's about Mahabharata. Okay, the next which you have, it's Mahabharata. Now Mahabharata you have to remember it is believed to be the work of sage Vyas and written in Sanskrit language. Okay, it is written in Sanskrit language. And Bhagavad Gita, which forms a part of the Mahabharata, is one of the most popular religious texts considered sacred by many people in India. Now you have to remember the importance of the epics. Okay, what are the importance of the epics? It is a source of information. It is a main source of information. Okay, it serves as a main source of information on political institution, the social and cultural organization of the epic age. What type of political condition, what type of social condition, cultural condition during the time of epic age. So it gives information. It is a source of information. Next, they provide information on various Aryan kingdoms, their armies and the weapons they used. Okay, because it was written during the time of later Vedic period. Most of the information it gives about the Aryan kingdom, it about their armies and the weapons they were used. Now the Kshatriyas were entrusted with the defense of their kingdoms, and they believed that death on the battlefield was the noblest act in the life of the warrior. The next importance, the epics are considered as the finest literary works on the ancient period and are acclaimed for their literary and philosophical values. They reveal the high ideals of family life of the Aryans. Okay, next, the great heroes depicted in the epics are the embodiment of high moral principles and made a great impact on successive generations. And six, which you have to remember, Bhagavad Gita elaborates the karma philosophy and the immorality. So you have altogether six importance of epics. The next which we are having is archaeological sources. Okay, so far we completed the literary sources. Now we are going to do archaeological sources. Now under the archaeological sources, under iron artifact, you have to remember the discovery of iron marks an important stage in the march of civilization in the world. Okay, the iron in India, the Iron Age began in 1000 BC. And iron was a harder metal than copper and bronze, and it was cheap and available in plenty, as well as iron deposits were found over large areas, so it was used in a wide scale. Okay, it was used in a wide scale. So with the use of iron plow heads, sickles and hoes, they could bring vast tracts and of land under cultivation. This was the change which has taken place. Then occupation also, apart from agriculture, agriculture was the most important occupation. Apart from agriculture, weaving, spinning, carpentry, tanning and tool making, they were the other important occupation of the people. Then we speak about defense. So weapons were used, swords, armors, shields, they were the weapons. They were the weapons used during the later Vedic period. Now we'll be talking about early settlement. So here the Aryans entered India from Afghanistan and settled in the valley of Kabul River and Punjab. So they called this northwestern part of India Saptasindhu, or the land of seven rivers, namely Sindhu, Ravi, Byas, Satluj, Jhelum, Chenab and Saraswati. These are the seven rivers. That means the Aryans first settled down on the bank of river Saptasindhu, and here only they composed their first Rig Veda. So which was the first Rig Veda? Rig Veda. First Veda was the Rig Veda. Next we have society. Now under society we have social organization, we have position of women, we have class division, four ashrams. So like this. So today in society we'll be doing only social organization and position of women. Okay. So family was fundamental unit of society, and it was patriarchal society. What type of society it was? Patriarchal society. Means the oldest male member of the family was its head, and he was called Grihapati or Kulapati. And after the death of Grihapati, the responsibility shifted to his elder son. So here man was very very important. Who was the head of the family? The oldest male person. So what type of society it was? It was a patriarchal society. Then families lived in gram or village, and several villages formed Visha. Many Vishas formed Jana, and the head of the village was called Gramini, that of Visha, and Visha was the head was known as Vishapati, and Rajan was the head of Jana. Okay, now the king governed with the help of three ministers in the early Vedic period. Okay, in the early Vedic period, king ruled with the help of three officers, three ministers. Now, who were these important officers? Gramini, Purohita, and Senani. Okay, so who was Senani? He was the commander of the army. Purohita was the chief priest who used to perform the religious ceremonies, and the administration of the village was carried out by the Gramini. Okay, so this was during the early Vedic period. And then king did not maintain any regular army. However, in times of war, he used to organize tribal groups to perform military function. So here in the Rig Vedic time, the tribe elected a leader of its own. The next we have Rig Vedic period, we had three popular assemblies. Now which are the three popular assemblies of the Rig Vedic period? Sabha, Samiti and Vidhata. Three popular assemblies, Sabha, Samiti and Vidhata. So Vidhata was the earliest assembly which used to perform all kinds of functions: economic, military, religious and social. And women actively participated in the deliberation in the Vidhata. Not only in Vidhata, they actively had participated in Samiti also, in Sabha also in the early Vedic period. Okay, so what was Samiti? Samiti was the assembly of the people, and Sabha was the council of elders. Okay, and the duty of Sabha was advisory duty and the judicial duty. Means they used to advise and they used to do the judgment. And Samiti was called to a session of special occasions like coronation, etc. In later Vedic period, kingship became hereditary, and divine element came to be associated with the king. So lot of changes have taken place. The popular assemblies lost their earlier importance. Sabha and Samiti came to be dominated by the chiefs and the rich nobles. Women no longer permitted to attend these assemblies. These were the changes which has taken place in the later Vedic period. Okay. Now in society only we have position of women. So during the Rig Vedic period, women were respected. So that means they were equal to men. Okay, institution of marriage had become sacred. Daughters were given freedom to choose their husband. And some evils like sati system, child marriage, widow, with this evils did not exist. And widow remarriage was prevalent. Okay, these all things were there. But in later Vedic period, decline in the status of women. They no more participated in Sabha and Samiti. And their participation in yagnas was not considered necessary. They did not enjoy the right to property. The freedom to choose husband by women was curtailed. So these are the changes which has taken place in the position of women in the later Vedic period. So for today only so much. Class division 4 ashrams will be doing in the next class. So we completed today the two epics, then importance of the epics we completed, then archaeological sources we done, early settlement and society. Under society we completed the position of women as well as social organization. So please learn. Thank you.